So here you see that children who once were diagnosed on the autistic spectrum, some more with Asperger's, some more with high-functioning autism, are capable of breaking the mold and are capable of becoming over in this end of the continuum, and can do reflective thinking, thank you, and can do creative thinking, and can get into a continuous flow of affect cueing, and can be very deeply and warmly engaged, and can learn to play with peers and enjoy peers. Now, again, you practice, you get what you practice. So if you don't expose children to peers in one-on-one play dates, and children just overloaded in a nursery school or a school environment, they'll be anxious with peers, and they won't have peer relationships. You've got to get the peer relationships cooking as soon as the language starts coming in, as soon as they become good co-regulated partners, so that they learn to relate to peers as well as to adults. And that's why our intervention program, we insist on 4 play dates a week, one-on-one, as well as the other elements of the program. And again, unless you challenge the children in these ways, we're not going to teach children to be theory of mind thinkers. It comes off of natural situations. You can't do it by teaching theory of mind tasks. So if you do the cockamamie stuff that's being out there now and being promoted, again, you dig the hole deeper. So the cockamamie things being promoted now is you teach theory of mind in a highly cognitive way. You know, you teach children to read emotional signals by looking at pictures of people with different emotional expressions. This is nonsense. It couldn't be more wrong. And it's based on findings that kids can do certain things, so you teach the task. It would be like, you know, it's like teaching kids to be smarter by teaching them how to perform on an IQ test. That doesn't teach people to be smarter, it just teaches the task. So these all come from not having a developmental dynamic model of how one thing leads to another. So in our DIR model, we're trying to at least present a preliminary hypothesis about how things might happen that can be refined as further insights develop. And I think the misdiagnoses of these syndromes will cease or be minimized if we follow a couple basic principles. One, look at the forest for the trees. You know, look at the big issues: reciprocal gesturing, engagement, and creative use of language. Number 2, bring out the best in the child and don't make a permanent diagnosis until you work with the child for a long time. Make a provisional one if you need to for services. And 3, make sure when you work with the child, you're working with the child in the proper way to see what the child can really do. And distinguish between children who just haven't been given the opportunities to practice certain things, or children where stress is leading to regression, versus children where these challenges are more structured into the nervous system, who can still improve, but may warrant a diagnosis at least initially. And I think then we won't be making as many misdiagnoses.